In 2011, 4 strange videos were uploaded to YouTube by a user going by Ivan0135. These 4 videos are fairly short, but they do contain multiple clips from different alien encounters happening from between 1942 and 1969. Now it's been over 13 years and still nobody has definitively debunked any of these scenes. Now if you haven't seen these videos, don't worry, I'll be showing the important parts and I'll link his channel down below in the description. Now let's go ahead and jump into a brief description of each video. Ivan's channel was originally created the same day he posted his first video, April 14th, 2011. The description of this channel gives us little to go on, with the only info about Ivan is that he was born in 1969 and claims to be from Russia. No one can actually verify that this was indeed one man or if his name was even Ivan. We'll just have to leave it at that since no one has ever came forward. Ivan put together these small compilations of alien encounters, supposedly taking clips from longer physical tapes. He even goes as far as timestamping each individual scene, showing exactly the point he got them from on his original copies. The first video, titled Disclosure Leaked UFO Alien Case Video Confidential Documents Old Footage, was uploaded with the creation of Ivan's channel. This video starts with a still image of a strange logo with some black boxes covering what we assume to be text. We then see an object hovering in the distance above what seems to be a large house. In the next scene, possibly the same object is recorded flying over a small town, with the cameraman seemingly recording it from the side while flying in a plane or a helicopter. Then we see a poorly lit figure standing and looking towards the camera, possibly a gray alien. Next, the camera pans around what appears to be a UFO crash scene, showing an alien corpse lying on the ground with a smoking saucer present behind it. In the last scene, we see an autopsy being performed on an alien, possibly the same one previously shown in the video. The audio doesn't give us much more to go on, with only old film projector sounds being heard through the whole video. Published on May 2nd, 2011, Ivan's second video, titled Alien Gray Extraterrestrial Zeta Reticuli UFO Leaked Footage, was a bit different from the first. The beginning of the video had several paragraphs where he seemingly provides some background information for all of his videos. He claims that these clips came from, quote, 7 videotapes with material recorded between 1942 and 1969 containing UFO incidents and the recovery and study of extraterrestrial life forms. He continues writing, due to the importance of these documents, maintain the anonymity of these sources. Ivan then moves on, showing info on where the next clip comes from in his tape and their titles. The next fragment, as he put it, shows a gray alien moving his head and arms, even blinking. After a few seconds, we see a panning shot starting around the shin level and moving up to the head, showing the gray alien standing in an idle position looking towards the camera. These previous 2 clips, both named Skinny Bob, would go on to gather a lot of attention, giving these little aliens their own specific name. At the end of the video, we get a glimpse of something that looks very hard to make out, titled How to Drive. Some theorize that this is some sort of steering device. Again, through the whole video, only an old projector rattling can be heard and nothing else. The third video to be uploaded, 1 week after the second, was a personal message from Ivan himself, addressing the negative comments and reactions he was receiving. He wrote, Your opinion and the conclusion you draw from this material do not depend on us. Maybe you are looking in the wrong direction. You are the ones who reject this material. Among other information, he would also state, the material does not belong to any film, video game, television series, or other commercial products that have been revealed to date or which are currently in production. And, the revelation of further material will depend on the events and people. In the background, we can see a 4-fingered handprint, and after this, nothing else appears in the video. Titled, Alien Gray Extraterrestrial Zeta Reticuli Tape Number 6, Family Vacation, the final video Ivan would ever publish would be put up on May 18th of that same year. Unlike the other video, this one is in color and also provides a bit of a backstory for the clips we're about to see. The text contains references to documents that mean nothing to us but is included by Ivan for some unknown reason. Simply put, we made first contact with extraterrestrials in 1942, where then a treaty of secrecy would be put into place. Ivan wrote, These meetings would take place in secrecy. A limited number of special agents would escort visitors, and they would only meet high-ranking officers. Also stating, at the meeting of 1961, there was an incident involving 3 subjects due to the violation of an agreement by officers at the military base, when they discovered that their arrival had been filmed with a hidden device without their consent. This is where we get the context for the next clip shown, a shaky film of multiple aliens walking, with the last one even possibly glaring at the camera. Videotape Fragments Deep Dive. Clip 1. Tin Bird. Title gives us a pretty good description of the fragment itself, with a metallic saucer object seen in the sky. The video is quite shaky, giving most people the impression that the craft is flying through the sky. However, once the video was stabilized by Reddit user Shatidi, it could be seen that the saucer is actually hovering in place and not flying along a trajectory. Some speculate that it could be something like a blimp tethered in position, however no details commonly seen on blimps of that time can be seen on this object. Seemingly recorded on a moving train or vehicle driving down a road, not much can be learned from the landscape. Some have said that the house seen below the craft is similar to the houses in the southern US, but no certain location has been found. Details of this house, however, fit with this time period, as no power line can be seen running to the house. In 1940, only 25% of American farm homes had electricity, giving credit to this often overlooked detail. Assuming Ivan posted these clips in chronological order, this same craft is seen in multiple other fragments, eventually leading to the crash seen in the second video. Clip 2. Flying Twin. Flying twin is believed to be referring to situations when a UFO is seen flying directly next to an aircraft, often mirroring the movements of the pilots. This is exactly what we see in this clip, as a metallic craft is once again filmed in the sky, but this time flying in parallel with the camera person. If the object was a significant distance away, and the person recording had to zoom in to see it, then it could easily lead to the extreme shaking present throughout the fragment. Users on Reddit have stitched all the frames together, giving a better view of the landscape below. However, the quality of the clips keeps us from being able to get much information from this. Many 3D models have been made in an attempt to find the location that this was filmed, and although many have ideas, no definitive location has been found. Using the models, they were, however, able to roughly recreate the scene to approximate the speed and height of the camera person. The aircraft seems to be traveling about 200 miles per hour at about 1,000 feet up in the air. And this does in fact reflect the capabilities of low-flying contemporary aircraft such as the Beechcraft Model 18, one of the most widely used utility airplanes of the time. Clip 3. Blue Boys. The title of this one is a bit of a mystery, with several theories being put forth, with some saying it's a reference to Project Blue Book created in 1952, and others saying it's a translation of the term often used as an informal term to address German Marines of that period. Most think, however, that the name Blue Boys is referring to the staff members of the Project Blue Book itself, with a report by Lauren R. Gross being discovered by Reddit user Shine Psychological 87. In this report, one paragraph states, I duly noted the myriad explanations given out by the Blue Book staff, widely referred to as the Little Boy Blues, or the Little Blue Boys, of sightings which they evaluated as mistakenly identified stars, planets, meteors, birds, reflected lights, mirages, marsh gas, or as delusions, hoaxes, publicity stunts, etc. Although the quality is rough in this fragment, we can see a humanoid being standing and looking at the camera. We can't quite tell what's happening in the background, but given the next scene showing a crashed UFO, some assume that we are just seeing it from a different angle in this clip as well. Other Reddit users have speculated that it could just be army personnel sitting on a rock with either a gun or radio antenna sticking off their back. The quality is just so low, it's hard to make anything out for certain. The next Blue Boys segment shows what appears to be that same UFO, seen in Tin Bird and Flying Twin, crashed on the ground. Panning over, an alien body can be seen laying in the dirt, presumably a passenger of this craft. User Red Dwarf B had the idea of stitching these frames together, letting us see a larger view of this whole scene. Working with a previously mentioned user, Shatudi, they also stabilized this footage, allowing us to see more clearly the wrecked object, showing damage and even smoke plumes on the rear side. It's also now easier to see possible footprints next to the alien being as well, with the prints seemingly originating from the direction of the crashed saucer. This leads many to speculate that it was able to exit the craft and walk away before collapsing from its injuries. It was during the viewing of the stabilized version that Red Dwarf B discovered that the alien on the ground is actually slightly moving and possibly still alive. Although hard to see, the head seems to be rolling just a little to the left, and the hand appears to be twisting. Clip 4. Blue Boys Meeting. Again, the name of this clip is a bit of a mystery, but it might suggest that there is actually more to this clip than the few seconds that we see. The last fragment given to us on Ivan's first video looks to be showing us a close-up of an alien autopsy, because again, it's quite hard to see Red Dwarf B has stitched the image together, revealing the whole alien corpse. Right away, we can see huge black eyes and a long skinny body, which many have pointed out suspiciously looks like Greys in pop culture. However, we can also see a bright tablecloth on the table in the background, which is noticeably different from most hoax videos that show bare metal tables trying to amp up the horror feelings of the autopsy environment. The tablecloths seen in the clip actually do match operating rooms of the time period, with many pictures from the 1940s showing similar situations. Some say that this clip shows evidence that Grey aliens also didn't have huge black eyes that seems apparent at first glance. Looking closely, you can see a small glint in both of the eyes, which should mean there's a small hard surface and not a large lens-like covering. Artists have shown how a well-placed object could observe the creature's eyes, and some even think this was done on purpose. Seeing that this clip is the only one bright enough to actually see the face clearly, it's just suspicious to many that we can't see the eyes better. Clip 5. Skinny Bob. This video fragment, also often called Skinny Bob Sitting, shows us what appears to be a Grey alien looking down and interacting with something. Quite a lot can be learned from analyzing this short clip, and the first thing that many people notice is the object behind the alien's back, leading many to speculate that the alien is sitting in a human chair. This being also doesn't seem to be alone, with the edge of a uniform barely being visible on the left side of the screen. There is evidence that this video has been cropped as well. By looking closely at the edges of the screen, you can see the left side has a sharp edge while the right side falls smoothly. Looking at the Grey alien, we can even make more observations, such as the discoloration and the patches on its head. This leaves some to speculate that this could be signs of injury, possibly even from the UFO crash shown in Blue Boys. Red Dwarf B has also pointed out that Bob's mouth seems fully capable of opening and closing, and that he also seems to not only have upper eyelids but lower eyelids as well. This gives more evidence towards Greys not actually having large bulbous black eyes, and that they only appear like this because of the bad quality of the videos out there. Oddly enough, Skinny Bob can also be seen with black fingernails, which apparently is also seen in obscure UFO lore. Notably, the head seems to be a different shape compared to the aliens in the other clips. Some have put this down to sexual dimorphism, suggesting that Bob is possibly a different gender than the other crested aliens we've seen. Out of all the clips, Skinny Bob Sitting gets the most comments about it being computer generated. While trying to prove or disprove the video, people state that the jerky head movements must be the result of poor digital animation. Others state that if this was animation, it wouldn't be that hard to correct and just put the blame on the low quality and frame rate of the fragment. It's also worth noting that the other head movements are completely smooth and seem natural. Saying that though, we honestly just don't know how aliens would move their heads to begin with. A jerky motion could be the normal to them. Clip 6. Skinny Bob 2. This is definitely the most detailed shot of any aliens that Ivan provides us with, showing a blinking Skinny Bob almost in its entirety. Above the alien's head we see a wedge-shaped object, which reminds many of a vintage height measuring device called a stadiometer. This is still found in doctors' offices and clinics today. We can also see that Skinny Bob seems to be in a different outfit. In another stitched together image of Skinny Bob, we can see that this outfit has a noticeably different collar and also a crease on the chest when compared to the alien's outfit in Blue Boys. It's also somewhat concerning to some that there seems to be odd camera movement, as the clip of Skinny Bob doesn't show any signs of distortion, which you would expect to see in this type of scanning action. It's possible that the camera was set up specifically for scanning Bob, but the more likely answer is that Bob was filmed as a whole in the original tape, then afterwards, possibly Ivan, digitally added the panning we see in the current fragment. Others speculate this clip is also played in reverse, perhaps for dramatic effect, or to again not show the entirety of the video. When playing the video in the opposite direction, the eyes seem to blink more naturally, with the eyelids closing more quickly and opening more slowly. Although this is how our muscles work, it doesn't necessarily mean that the alien's eyes would work the same way. This all lies in speculation and is still up for debate. Clip 7. How to Drive. This one has some terrible quality, and it can be quite difficult to tell exactly what we're looking at. Given the title to the video and the UFO seen in the previous videos, many assume that we are seeing some kind of alien steering device for maneuvering the spacecraft. The clip appears to show some sort of glass-like plate with some bulges on it. The bulges also seem to have some sort of symbols, although what exactly the symbols are or represent are still up for debate. Some Redditors have even recreated this scene and attempt to explain the shadow cast on the glass plate. It seems that there are two likely answers to this. One is that the plate is somehow fixed or mounted above, or maybe even hovering above the table, catching the shadow which is fixed. Another possibility is that the plate is lying on the table and the camera person is casting their own shadow while also moving the camera around. Some suggest this fragment could be showing us the interior of the craft Skinny Bob came in on, or possibly even the inside of the crashed UFO seen in Blue Boys. Clip 8. Handprint. One of the highest quality images we see on Ivan's channel, this handprint shows 3 long fingers and an opposable thumb. The image also seems to be printed on paper, which is notably different from the scanned film present in the other clips. We can also assume that this is an alien handprint given the context within the other videos on his channel, but not everybody agrees with this. Some say that this could be a print from an animal or a human with birth defects, or perhaps more probable, a digitally altered handprint from a normal person. Photoshop was around at the time, and although it would be difficult, it's completely possible for an experienced person to make images like this. Clip 9. Family Vacation. This is the last fragment that Ivan would upload to YouTube, and notably the only video in color. This could be another indication that the clips were posted in chronological order, and this clip was the most recent one. The text that accompanies the video places it in 1961, which further supports this theory. The name, Alien Gray Extraterrestrial Zeta Reticuli Tape 06, Family Vacation, also brings its own questions with it. Was it named this because the aliens visited in a group, or was it referring to Eisenhower's infamous dentist visit while on vacation in Palm Springs? For those that don't know about Eisenhower's dentist visit, I'll go over it briefly. While on a golf vacation in California, he left the ranch and made an unscheduled trip to the dentist after chipping his tooth on a chicken wing. However, some suspect that this is just a cover-up, and many people argue that he actually made a secret trip to the nearby Edwards Air Force Base, where he would have a meeting with extraterrestrials. This meeting supposedly involved talks about de-arming nukes and the dangers that come with nuclear technology. With all this being said, it could be a possible link to the title of this video, possibly suggesting that it was also a secret meeting during a government official's family vacation. While watching this clip, it's hard to tell exactly how many visitors were walking past, but Ivan himself writes that 3 aliens were present that day. From what we see, it seems the aliens are walking along a concrete wall with possibly some humans accompanying them. Apparently, an army officer was attempting to film the aliens secretly upon their arrival, but was found out. This forced the visitors to correct a treaty they allegedly had with us since '42, in which they already stated that they wouldn't be filmed during meetings with government officials, but now they had to add that they also couldn't be filmed at any other time, such as their arrival. Towards the end of this clip, it almost seems as if one of the mysterious beings turns and glares angrily towards the camera. Images and effects. In the first video at the very beginning, we see what we now know as the KGB insignia from a documentary made in 1988 called The Secret KGB Files. In this documentary, we see the same picture, although without the black box censoring. The text also translates to Top Secret KGB Archive. This film also featured a crashed UFO as well as an alien autopsy. The Secret KGB Files is a known commercial hoax in Russia and has been thoroughly debunked. This, however, does not mean Ivan's video has been debunked. It only means that he was aware of this documentary and has decided to use the image for an unknown reason. Just barely visible for the first few frames, a lens flare can be seen in the Blue Boys fragment. Lens flares are made when a very bright light like the sun hits the camera lens at an angle and are actually produced inside of the camera housing. This might not seem important, but when the clip was stabilized, it can be seen that the flare moves across the screen in an almost linear path. This means the shaking in the clip was most likely an overlaid effect, because if the camera was shaking like this in real life, then the lens flare would also be shaking along with it. Many believe if the original video this clip was taken from exists, then that video would present a much calmer approach to the camera handling. The damaged film look is actually a post-processing edit, with the exact overlay stock effect being found by user Brooklyn Robot. Even the software and plugins Ivan used were found by user Jazz Like Squirrel, with it most likely being After Effects by Boris FX using the Sapphire plugin. This, along with other effects, show that Ivan intentionally tampered with the footage before posting them on YouTube. Many speculate his reasoning, but we still don't know for sure why Ivan added the effects. All of the videos either have some sort of old film projector sound or are completely mute. The sound of the projector is accurate for the time period, but it could also just be a stock effect, although the exact one used has still yet to have been tracked down. It's thought that these were likely added just to give the audience the feel of watching old film reels, and was purely just an effect. Since it is already known that Ivan did indeed use stock effects, many see actually looking for the audio as interesting, but not actually worth any value if it's found. It's also worth noting that the timestamp at the bottom of these videos are also in effect, with the font now known to have been created in 2006. It's not sure exactly why the time codes were even included, and many are curious to Ivan's motivation to add the effects to the videos at all. However, there are many reasons why Ivan would want to use these effects in his videos, and although speculation, many of these ideas make quite a bit of sense. Many believe that Ivan only wanted to show a little bit of the film and hide the rest for maybe several reasons. Some think that it could have just been used as blackmail, just showing enough to scare the original owner of the clips. Others say that he added the effects to stay in some sort of gray zone and avoid any responsibility that may come with leaking this footage. It's also been theorized that these clips were stolen in a Pentagon leak, and the heavy editing was used to avoid being proved authentic and creating too much attention, something Ivan wouldn't want. Some think that it could have been incompetence. Not everyone is a great editor, and Ivan could have just thought it simply made it look cooler. It could have also been done for the opposite reason. It's possible that the footage was just so strange that he felt he had to add effects to dilute the film and better fit the public's expectations. It's also been said that he could have made an agreement with someone to publish these videos on their behalf, but only if they were heavily edited. Other reasons include a de-watermarking technique, an ego or power trip, knowing he's the only one to possess the originals, and even just Ivan trying to spice up a bland video. However, many are convinced that these effects were just thrown on to lower production cost and hide any imperfections in the animation. Media comparisons. If Ivan got inspiration from any media, it would most likely be from a documentary made in 1997 titled Area 51: The Alien Interview. In this documentary, we see many of the same scenes shown in Ivan's videos, including aliens sitting in a chair and interacting with something like a map on the table. We also see strange symbols present on the researcher's clipboard, much like many suggest are on the steering disc in How to Drive. There's also a scene which shows a doctor shown examining the alien, which is not completely unlike the autopsy we see in the fragments. The documentary even shows a segment in which a military man is filming the arrival of these aliens with a small portable camera. The aliens in this scene are even walking in front of a concrete wall that looks just like the one in the background of Ivan's clip. Another odd similarity is that the clip in the documentary is now shown in color, reflecting the 1970s time period being shown. It's during the family vacation video in which we first see color in Ivan's videos, which was supposedly taken in 1961, again leading to more comparisons being made. The time code is also almost directly taken from the documentary, being almost the exact same style that Ivan used. It's thought that Ivan either used this documentary as an artistic template for his videos, or that they are indeed from actual old classified tapes that the documentary creators also had access to. Just a few years before Ivan made his uploads, a very similar alien could be seen in a video uploaded on the YouTube channel, Estranged Videos. This video shows several images of extraterrestrial corpses being handled by normal citizens. These pictures bear a striking similarity to Skinny Bob and the other aliens we see in Ivan's videos, with this footage allegedly coming from the Rivera Rogue area in Quebec, Canada in 1992, and it's still yet to be debunked to this day. In another similarity, this channel has ever only uploaded 2 videos, and has since never been heard from. About a month after the last video was published by Ivan, the movie Super 8 would be released along with a viral marketing campaign trying to hype it up. The marketing campaign involved people receiving packages in the mail containing film reels with just a few frames of footage each. When everybody collaborated and uploaded the clips together, it formed a mysterious trailer advertising the movie. There are some notable similarities, including the top-secret government look to it all, the projector rattling sounds, and also the shaky camera movement. One theory out there suggests Ivan's videos were made for the same reason, but the movie it was intended for just never released. Contact with Ivan and the current situation. Since 2011, no one has had any confirmed contact with Ivan. Although unverifiable, there is however one YouTuber that has claimed to have contact with him in 2014. The channel, Planet Under Attack, would go on to post an email conversation with Ivan, and if true, gives us extra details that weren't mentioned in the original videos, while also mentioning some of the details only found by analysis years later. The emails would mention that Ivan wasn't the original owner of the video, and he couldn't release any more clips without permission. Ivan stated that there was a full 12 minutes of footage unedited, and much of it was also cropped down to size. The email even says that the video of Skinny Bob was cropped, and in the original you can see the alien clearly sitting in a chair and interacting with other humans in the room. Ivan also says that Bob is wearing human clothes so that his can be taken for analysis. Oddly enough, without having knowledge of these emails, many would study Ivan's videos and come up with similar speculations involving these clips. Although the emails have never been proven to actually exist, they are the only known contact with Ivan at all. He was never heard from again, and the videos have never reappeared in their original form on any other YouTube channel or anywhere else. Nowadays, one of two main theories are generally agreed upon when it comes to Ivan's videos, with some believing that it was an actual leak and the other half believing it was all a hoax. Those on the side of the leak point out the professional setting where the fragmented clips took place in, citing the autopsy room, the room where they interacted with Skinny Bob, and the recording taken from the plane. If these were amateur home videos, we wouldn't expect to see any of these environments, leading many to believe that these were indeed created by a government or military agency. A whistleblower could have possibly come forward, releasing these clips as a form of blackmail while holding back the rest of the footage. It's thought that by obscuring and cropping the videos, Ivan was possibly playing damage control early on. This prevented too much information about himself or the people he was involved with from getting out to the public. Many claim that the scenes in Ivan's videos are quite easy to reproduce and can be done at low cost, but so far no videos have surfaced that are quite as convincing. Making these films would require a variety of different filming techniques such as CGI, animatronics, stop motion, motion tracking, and possibly realistic costumes. This means that the creation of this could easily cost tens of thousands of dollars or even more. However, there are a few plausible reasons for still making this despite the cost. Some speculate that these were simply advertisements for a special effects company or a demo reel made by film students. It could have also been an abandoned marketing scheme meant for a movie that was long ago cancelled and thrown out. It's even been suggested that Ivan's videos have been part of a long-term social experiment or even some sort of psychological operation funded by the government. Now, there are several more things that we can do in the coming years to either be able to label this whole thing as real or a proven hoax. With more analysis, the area where Twin Bird was filmed could be located, and this could help determine a date for when it was originally produced. It's possible that these clips also exist in a private UFO collection, and if so, bringing them forward would help disprove the CGI theory. With further study of these clips, some believe that a major flaw will be found, but so far nothing like that has been discovered. Now, some just hope that people with similar film, or even some involved with Ivan's videos, will come forward on social media. Many are just waiting for the Ivan0135 channel to upload more videos, however, with how long it's been, this seems unlikely. Reddit user RedDwarfB was also offering a reward of up to $30,000 for additional footage, substantial background information, or proof that it was all a hoax. Unfortunately though, as of October 2023, this reward has expired with nothing definitive ever seeming to have come from it. This video was mostly based on information found on skinnybob.info, and I'll include a link to that website as well in the description. I really recommend taking a look if you want to know more about any of those clips, as there's just too much to show in one video. Many Reddit users put a lot of time into investigating Ivan's videos, so a big thanks goes out to them as well. If anybody has any information to add, please visit that site or go to the Skinny Bob subreddit. And if anybody is interested in that documentary I mentioned that came out in 1997, I did find it, and we'll link it down in the description as well. This video is a bit different from what I normally do, so be sure to leave a comment and let me know what you think of it. Also, let me know if you think these clips are real or if you really do think it's just CGI animation. I'll be putting these out every couple weeks, so be sure to come back and check them out. This was Matt, and I want to believe.